Good morning and welcome to week 15 of the Destination Fantasy Podcast. It's your boy Jamar. I might be solo today, but I'm still going to get you rolling here. Week 15 means it is the playoffs. At this point, if you're watching, if you're still playing fantasy, that lets me know you did make the playoffs. This has been a crazy year. Dealing with all the injuries, that's pretty much been the big thing. Just dealing with the injuries and managing that part and getting creative here because it's been a journey since August, man. It's definitely been a journey. So first thing I want to get into, as I await questions or anything of that nature, is pretty much what happened on Thursday. So you have the Rams, you have the 49ers. On surface, we expected this game to be uh, a high scoring affair. Normally, when these two teams play, it's a pretty good game. And in theory, it was a good game, but we expected a lot more points than what happened. And so, if you played your normal starters in this game, for the most part, you was disappointed. So, I mean, the highest point getter was Puka Nacua. He had 7 catches for 97 yards. And mind you, there was no touchdown scored in this game. So anybody that's, if you started like Brock Purdy or Matthew Stafford, that was a dud. Kyron Williams, which has been a touchdown machine. He did go over 100 yards on the ground, but once again, didn't find the end zone. George Kittle, he got you double-digit points. You started Garendo, the 4th-string running back for the Niners. He got you double-digit points. But needless to say, the elephant in the room is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was non-existent. That man was burning cardio. I don't know if he was getting ready for a 5K. Man, goose egg, 0 points. 0 points. So if you started Cooper Kupp in the first round of the playoffs, you pretty much in the hole. You're pretty much in the hole. And I'll discuss more about it in a second. We got a question here from Nick. Morning. So he said, yo, what's up? I got 2 questions this Sunday. Pick 2 half points. So we got JT, Mixon, or Lamb. Also, some defensive string options for this week 1 of the playoffs with me. All right, so pick 2. So we got Mixon, JT, Lamb. So Mixon, I would say definitely Mixon. I do like that matchup between Houston and, if I'm not mistaken, to play the Dolphins at home. And, for the most part of this year, matter of fact, I'm going to go on record and say Joe Mixon has been the most consistent Houston Texans player this whole year, by far. So Mixon is in my lineup. I am not a fan of Jonathan Taylor's matchup today at all. Colts on the road and Mile High, I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. CeeDee Lamb, as bad as the Cowboys have been this year, CeeDee Lamb is still getting his. CeeDee Lamb scored the first touchdown last week in that game that was a complete debacle on their end. So, in my opinion, I would go Joe Mixon and CeeDee Lamb out the 3. And then you said defenses to stream. The one that sticks out, if they're available, the Cardinals. If you can get the Cardinals defense at home against New England, I think that'd be a good spot there. Cardinals have been a sneaky, solid defense the whole year. Like Deshaun, what's up, bro? Getting to the money. He agrees with me, Mixon and Lamb as well. He also said weather was a huge factor, but Kupp having 0 targets in a fantasy playoff game is a tough pill to swallow for. Yeah, absolutely. That is terrible. Awful said Kupp killed a lot of playoff. He really did. I personally, I'm glad I don't have any stock in Cooper Kupp this year, but I do feel for those that do, because that is tough. But yeah, going back to the defensive streams, the Cardinals I feel like is a good spot. And maybe maybe Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati defense is trash, but they're playing against Tennessee, and we know Will Levis loves to give the ball away. I mean, this is the season for giving, so maybe. But out of all those, I say the Cardinals, Bengals, and if the Commanders defense is available, of course, you know, they're going against Hayer or whatever his name is, quarterback that really haven't played at all. So those three defenses, if they're available, those are the ones to play. So Nick, good luck to you, man. Let us know how you do. It is the playoffs. This is AKA any given Sunday. Awful says got Bo Nix and Kyler Murray in one league, and also got Bo Nix and Jordan Love in another. Which should I start in both of these leagues? 4-point touchdowns. My initial reaction is Bo knows, but let me just take a deeper look into this really quick. Let's see. All right, so here's the thing. Like Kyler Murray, this is a spot to where if Kyler, like I've had mixed emotions on Kyler Murray the whole year. Like Kyler has overall, I mean, I guess he's been fine. I mean, he is quarterback 10 on the year, so you know, he is startable. I just know there's been points in time where Kyler Murray has pissed me off, but then there's been a couple games where he's been, you know, sensational. But he still is a startable quarterback based on his ranking this year. And so this is a spot to where if this is one of those games, if any game, you're at home against New England, which has not been a good team whatsoever all year, you would expect Kyler Murray to go out there and do what Kyler Murray does. You expect Kyler Murray to throw for about 250 yards, get you about 50 yards on the ground, maybe at least 2 total touchdowns with a passing one and a rushing one, and play a clean game with no turnovers, right? That's what you expect. Like I love Bo Nix. At home against Indianapolis, that defense is atrocious. You know, Anthony Richardson, I'm sorry. But nevertheless, you know, he is very turnover prone. I mean, once again, this is the season for giving. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. Christmas is exactly 10 days away. Who knows? If he gives the ball away, there's more opportunity for Bo Nix and the Broncos offense. I mean, and I just like Bo Nix slightly more, but I feel like either one of those between the two is fine. And now with Jordan Love, looks like I got a co-signer here. And Deshaun knows that Bo knows. But yeah, now between Jordan Love and Bo Nix, look, Deshaun will tell you that Jordan Love is guaranteed a pick. He's guaranteed to throw a pick. Like Jordan Love is like a very, very talented quarterback. Just this year, you know, it's just been a lot of turnovers that has pretty much reduced his production as a fantasy quarterback. A lot of turnovers. Now, he has played a turnover-free game in the last 3 games, but within those last 3 games, he has yet to go with 20 points. So, you know, on the road at the 12th man in Seattle, I'm not liking it. So I would say you're starting Bo Nix for both. The first one is more of a coin flip, but I'm definitely starting Bo Nix over Jordan Love at this point. He's been more consistent. There's more evidence here, so that's where I'm at with that one. So yeah, good luck to you. Awful. So yeah, just really quick, just back to like, Cooper Kupp. At this point, if you did play Cooper Kupp, I'm pretty sure you are definitely in a deficit. So with that being said, you are starting anybody, in my opinion, you're starting anybody that has a high ceiling going forward. I mean, there's no more room for error here. You have to start guys that's going to make up for a goose egg. It's one thing to have a goose egg, but it's another thing to have a goose egg from a player that is known that has won leagues, that has did in real life did a triple crown a few years ago. This is a guy that Matthew Stafford loves over the years. So yeah, to get it from him, that is devastating. That is devastating. All right, so Awful says, yeah, I'm leaning that way too. All right, so and then Untamed Music, morning, sir. Sam or Tua. All right, so then Tua, then Pollard or Charles. Half point. Okay, so Sam Darnold is probably the safe bet out of this. Darnold's matchup against, you can definitely, he could definitely put up some numbers there. Last time they played, I mean, Justin Jefferson wasn't really the beneficiary. They pretty much guarded him and let Jordan Addison do whatever he wanted to do in that game, everything he wanted to do. So, nevertheless, Sam Darnold's a safe pick. Now, I would say Tua probably have a higher ceiling today, especially if that game, for whatever reason, between the Texans and Dolphins turned to a shootout. Then Tua's ceiling definitely by far. But if you're going a safe approach or you just want the points, if you feel like you have a better chance of winning just getting the points instead of hoping for that shootout, start Sam Darnold. So between Pollard and Charbonnet, my gut reaction says Charbonnet. Now, I know Pollard has been, pretty good this year. He's a solid RB2. I mean, even within a lackluster offense that's led by Will Levis, I mean, he still is productive. And going against Cincinnati is a pretty good matchup there. But all I know is, and Deshaun would tell you if he was here, the fantasy equation for success for any player is opportunity plus talent. Charbonnet is very talented. And with Kenneth Walker unlikely to play because he's doubtful, the opportunity is there. I mean, he had well over 20 touches last game. Matter of fact, I think it was closer to 30, if I'm not mistaken. It's fantasy star. So with that being said, I'm going to have to agree with my co-host here, Darnold and Charbonnet. So good luck to you. It's the playoffs. Let us know how you do. All right, Awful said, if you survive this week with a Kupp donut, watch Pro go nuclear next week. Facts. It seemed like more times than not, any star receiver that has a goose egg or, like one catch for 2 yards type deal, you know darn well in him practicing in the meeting rooms, he is going crazy. They gonna make it a strong emphasis to get him the ball the following week. I mean, we seen it with AJ Brown in the past with Jalen Hurts. We've seen it with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. We've seen it this year with Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix. When he had that goose egg, Cortland Sutton has turned into a top 10 wide receiver since then. So that is definitely going to happen. He says, which defense would you start? Cardinals versus Patriots, Falcons versus Raiders. So I want to say Cardinals. Now, I know the Raiders are the Raiders, but I feel like the Cardinals defense more times this year has had a little bit more backbone to their defense than the Falcons have. So I think both are not a bad option here. Me personally, I would go Cardinals, but I think either one should be an okay option. But nevertheless, we're kind of splitting hairs on that one. And Deshaun said, it never fails. Awful. Kupp will probably find pay dirt twice next week. Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking at. That's exactly how it goes. Cooper Kupp probably get 12 targets, 8 catches, 110 yards, 2 scores, something like that. And I think they have a tough matchup next week, if I'm not mistaken. He'll still do it. Yep, they're on the road at the Jets, and he's still going to put up those numbers. He's going to cook. DJ Reed, he's going to cook. Sauce Gardner, it don't matter. The Cooper Kupp is going to be a star next week. So, Deshaun said cards. Awful agrees. So yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, if you're you can survive, you're gonna be in luck. If not, I get it. I have empathy for each and every one of you all. All right, so just other stuff real quick. Just for the record, I won't be on here too long today, but that's okay. If you're in the Discord, if you have questions, we are here. We've been answering them all week. We've been answering them early in the morning. We've been answering them late at night. Join the Discord. All right. So one thing I do want to get into, kind of mentioned already, Kenneth Walker, doubtful. Kenneth Walker, when he starts, it feels like any running back in this offense, which is kind of similar to the 49ers offense, you just plug and play and you're going to get a star running back. So Zach Charbonnet, that is a must start this week, in my opinion. We saw what he did last week. Even when he was splitting time with Kenneth Walker, and he was able to get about 10 touches a game, he has been very productive. So that is a must start. If you have Charbonnet, and if for whatever reason he's still out there, go grab him and start him. All right. With that being said, Foxborough, what's up, sir? Good morning. Where's everyone at? 16-man half point. Who you like best, Goff or Murray? So as far as everyone, Deshaun, he's at work, but he's chiming in right now. You got Ian, so Ian is a fan of many teams. So Ian used to be a Bears fan. He kind of like ditched me, and he's a Steelers fan now. He's a Texans fan now. Lions fan. He even got a Rams tattoo on his arm there. Of course, plethora of fans. But the reason why I said that, because I think he's in Indianapolis, so he might turn out to be a Colts fan today. So I don't know. And then Walt, he's been working all night, so he may pop on, but we'll see. All right. So to answer your question, Goff or Murray. So here's the thing, like the Lions arguably could be playing in the game of the year today against the Buffalo Bills. The ceiling is that game turns into a shootout like we saw the Bills and the Rams last week. That is the hope. That is the ceiling. But Murray is definitely the safer pick by far. Goff, even when times when the Lions put up 50 points, Goff could, barely throw 400 yards in those games because it's David Montgomery, it's Jahmyr Gibbs, it's Sonic and Knuckles, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. You might have a Tim Patrick signing, Sam Laporta, a Jamo sighting. The list goes on. So if you need the points in that 16-man league, I would go with Murray. All right. And he said in the same league, I need 2 wide receivers. I got Cooks, MVS, Patrick, and Harrison Jr. All right, let me see what my co-host said. So playing Goff is always tricky because they can win games with him throwing 1 touchdown or just with the running backs. Exactly. And it's not like that he can't do it. It's just like, will he need to do it? That's the thing with Goff. It's more so, is it needed or not? If it's needed, then yes. If it's not, then he can be very pedestrian, and the Lions still look good winning. So, Deshaun, if you're watching, like this one here, yeah, Brandon Cooks, MVS, Patrick, and Harrison Jr. So, once again, if Kyler Murray is doing what he's supposed to be doing, I would imagine Marvin Harrison Jr., which we know if he had Matthew Stafford throwing him the ball, he'll be probably wide receiver 2 this year, because I think Jamar Chase still be 1. But you get what I'm saying. All right, Marvin Harrison Jr. is that talented. He is phenomenal. Even with Gonzalez on New England, I don't know if he's playing or not, but even with that, I think Marvin still would get his. That is just a good matchup there. Patrick, I mean, it's just a lot of mouths to feed. In MVS, I don't know what to expect with a Hainer at quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of ifs on that one. Cooks, this is tough. So so you need two. I'm taking Harrison Jr. That's one because at least I know he has an opportunity. His opportunity is a lot better than the rest of theirs by default. And of course, he's more talented than anyone else on this list. So I'm gonna have to go with him by default on that one. The other one, Foxborough, it depends, man. So like Patrick's floor is so low. I would rather not, but I do like the potential shoot out there. MVS, his ceiling is probably the highest in the group. Probably the highest. So if you need, so here's what I say: Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure, and I probably would go MVS as a dart throw. I probably would. So I probably would, and then Deshaun got Harrison Jr. and Cooks. So we definitely agree on Harrison Jr. So I would say between the two, between Cooks and Patrick, just whatever your gut says on that one, because that is tough, man. And then same league tight end, I got Kraft or Strange. Who you like? I would go Kraft. I get it. Ingram's done for the year, but Mac Jones at quarterback. And then Deshaun agrees pretty much outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. You're really rolling the dice there. You are. I would go Kraft because of at the end of the day, with stuff like this, it's like who's the better quarterback? Which quarterback do I trust more? I definitely trust Jordan Love more than Mac and Cheese there, or Mac Jones, whatever you want to call him. So good luck to you. All right. John, good morning. Flex 2, we got Bucky, Rashad, Zay, Pollard, half point, and just to go back, Deshaun got Kraft as well. All right. I guess first and foremost, how healthy is Bucky Irving? Because that played a factor into last week's debacle, whoever started Bucky Irving. I mean, the man's questionable. I mean, if he's healthy, I mean, that's the guy. That's the guy. Because what he played like once? No, 4 carries last week, 1 catch, so 5 total touches before he was done. Yeah, that's not ideal. We got so Zay has the Giants switch. Game flow says that should be one-sided. I mean, I don't think DeVito can really keep them in the game, even though the Ravens secondary isn't the greatest, but it's tough. Okay, Irvin likely to play now. Still monitor till kickoff. Thank you for that. I think it's like the two running backs in Tampa. It's all dependent on, Bucky Irving, like all the way around. It's all dependent on that. Let's see. Just looking at a couple of things. Second. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Irvin Pollard, because I mean Pollard's massive is too good to ignore against Cincinnati. Cannot ignore that. So I'm with you, Deshaun. Irvin and Pollard. Irvin and Pollard if Bucky plays. If not, then I would substitute. I mean, pretty much if Irvin's not playing, you're playing White. So Irvin and White and Pollard for those. So yeah, good luck to you. Good luck to you, John. Good luck. This is the playoffs. No Foxborough, thank you for stopping by this morning. I mean, look, y'all, it's the playoffs. I mean, we go through this every year. We know that if any given Sunday, anything can happen. I was me personally going into um, you know, Thursday's game. I was sweating bullets in a couple of leagues because I have Puka in 3 leagues. Well, 2 of them I'm in the playoffs in, one of them did not make, but nevertheless, in the one of the leagues that honestly the one that I really want to win the most, the 14 teamer here. Like I have Garendo and Puka going into that matchup. I didn't have my quote unquote, I didn't have the warm and fuzzies per se, but because I was going against Brock Purdy and George Kittle. Going into it, I was a little worried about that. I mean, I didn't expect Brock Purdy to throw for under $150 and throw a pick and no touchdowns. I did not expect that at all. I mean, Kittle got you double digits. I mean, that's fine, but yeah, that whole matchup. So anything can happen here. I'm up on the guy, but still, like I'm not claiming any victories until the final whistle on any game. So yeah, Cincinnati can't stop a nosebleed. I don't think they can stop a sign. I don't think they can stop a sign either, man. So and that's been the Achilles heel for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, as you being a Steelers fan, hashtag Steeler Nation, hashtag here we go. Are you happy, Deshaun? I did it for you. But as you know, I mean, the Achilles heel for the Bengals is their defense. With their record, they should probably be what at this point, 7-6, 7-7, at least had 3 more wins than what they have right now. But what can you do? What can you do? So, all right. With all that being said, oh man, yeah, they can't stop a sign, dog. They can't do it. They can't do it, man. All right. So as I wait, any more questions? I'm just gonna run through the slate really quick, and then at that point, like I said, I'm not gonna be here long this morning. But once again, join the Discord. Join the Discord. We will continue to answer questions there. Let's go. Hashtag Steeler Nation. Hashtag here we go. Proud of you, bro. Thanks. Hey, man, this is a one-time thing. I mean, this is the season for giving, so I'll give you that since you were hard to work over there. That's a deal. All right, so today's slate, run through it really quick so we can get up out of here. And so there are no more bye weeks, so we can't hide behind the byes. Well, he's on a bye. There's none of that. We are back to full slates here across the board. All right, first game, Ravens, Giants. Look, this should be a one-sided affair. Vegas thinks so. Vegas has the Ravens 16.5-point favorites. So this is definitely a positive game flow for Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I would say probably even Mark Andrews too, wide receiver pass catchers, probably to a certain degree, but this is the Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson show today. On the other side of it, I mean, I am curious to see if Malik Neighbors still going to get the same production that we're used to seeing him get. I mean, if so, then by all means, it is a positive game script for him too. They're going to be down. They got to throw the ball. So I would not hesitate starting Malik Neighbors if he goes. Tyrone Tracy Jr., that is a tough matchup. As bad as the Ravens has been against the pass, they are the complete opposite against the run. They can neutralize running backs. So just keep that in mind. Jets, Jaguars. I mean, what do you want to say? We got an ancient quarterback against a great value mac and cheese out here. So that being said, Evan Ingram's he on IR. I mean, the only player worth mentioning, I guess, for the Jags at this point, Brian Thomas Jr. I don't trust any running backs on that team anymore. I don't even trust Duval County at this point. As far as the Jets, I don't know. You would think they would put up yards and points, and Devontae Adams could find the end zone again. Garrett Wilson, you would think he would be very productive. Breece Hall should be back today, and you would think he would have 100 yards easy in the first half, but they're the Jets. So take everything with a grain of salt. Dylan, good morning. Playoffs, yes, indeed. Full PPR. Lost K9 this week. Yikes. All right. Need one running back, one flex, one tight end. All right, running backs. We got Bucky, Irvin, McLaughlin, Ford. Okay, Bruce Allen. Spears. Okay, wide receivers. Jamo, Devontae Smith, tight end. We got Ertz. Okay, Schultz. Move. All right. Running back. I'll put it to you like this. We're going to give you two scenarios. If Bucky and Irvin is playing, you are starting Bucky, Irvin, and we're not even having this discussion. Now, if he's not playing or there's anything to note like, hey, he's playing, he's on a pitch count, then, all right, we're going to pivot. And I'm going to lean McLaughlin. I'll see if Hall wasn't playing, then it'd be Allen for my second pick. I'm going to lean Tajay Spears. As the backup if Bucky Irvin isn't playing. All right. Second one, Jamo, Devontae Smith. I mean, we know that the Lions and the Bills could be the same as the Rams and the Bills last week, or it could be a little lackluster for whatever reason. The Eagles. So with having a brain fart here, Goddard out. I mean, it's definitely more opportunity for Smith. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he scored last week. Steelers secondary, you can definitely pass on them. We've seen it before. Jamo Smith. I think Smith is definitely the safer option there. So I would go Devontae Smith. Tight end, we got Ertz, Schultz, and Move. I mean, obviously, Move has the Eagles. Commanders, Saints. I mean, you already got Terry. I get it. Schultz, Texans. Man, this is really a coin flip here. I'm stuck between Move and Schultz on this one at the moment. Deshaun, if you're still around, what you thinking on this one, man? Schultz did have 7 targets last game. All right. Definitely appreciate that. Move has found the end zone in 2 straight games. At Philly. Yeah, I can go with that. So I wouldn't be mad if you did start Schultz. Bingo. I forgot about that. I'm with you. We got the trifecta on that one. So you starting Bucky, Smith, and Move on that one. So Dylan, good luck to you. Let us know how you do. Please let me know that you're gonna survive and advance next week. So, all right. As I wait any more questions, we're gonna get back to the slate here. All right. So, third game on the slate. Cowboys, Panthers. So CeeDee Lamb still gonna get points. I do have CeeDee Lamb in one of the 4 leagues. I'm still in the playoffs in. I mean, look, at this point, as long as CeeDee Lamb give me at least 15 points, I can work with that. And he should be able to on the road against Carolina. Dowdle has been pretty good as of late, and Carolina has one of the worst run defenses in the league. I think outside of that, I'm not really starting anybody else on the Cowboys if I don't have to. On the Panthers side, I mean, just from a football standpoint, I'm happy to see that Bryce Young, ever since, he came back from being benched, he's playing like a guy that needs to, I guess, keep a job in the league. He's been playing a lot better. And so that means the likes of Adam Thielen, that old man Thielen, it seemed like he's starting to be a little relevant again. I know he's, missed a lot of time with the hammy, but in the last 2 games, he has seen 21 targets. He has 17 receptions. He has 201 yards combined and a touchdown. I mean, last game, 19.2 points, and then the game before that, 23.9. So Adam Thielen against a Dallas secondary who has definitely been banged up. They just lost Trayvon Diggs for the year with a knee injury. So him and his brother are going to be recovering ACLs together, unfortunately. So, yeah, so Thielen is a great play today. Great play. Yeah, he said Panthers defense isn't terrible at all. So it's like Panthers have been playing, opponents pretty close here, and they are an actual favorite today. So yeah. And then of course Chuba Hubbard. You have to play him. You have to play him. Hubbard's a must start. I think Adam Thielen is a very strong flex option. Very strong flex option. So those are 2 for me from that matchup here. So, all right. Next up, Commanders and the Saints. Of course, you're starting Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson Jr., of course, Terry McLaurin, of course, Zach Ertz, if you really have to, who are tight end option, that's fine. Saints. Here's the list. Alvin Kamara. That's it. Unless you in a deep league, and like earlier we were talking about MVS and stuff like that. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody else worth mentioning. Nobody else worth bringing up. So we just gonna keep it moving. But Alvin Kamara should be a very viable must-start option here. Bengals and Titans. So, on surface, this is this does not have any appeal to it. But if you like start peeling the layers back like an onion here, I mean, this game could get up there in points. Just think about it. Cincinnati's defense is trash across the board. Across the board, they're trash. Titans defense, for the better part, is trash. Outside their pass rush at times, that can be pretty solid. They're trash. Call a spade a spade. So we know Joe Burrow can throw the ball. So that means if Will Levis can be anything of a competent quarterback here, that means he can make completions, throw the ball, and score points. Therefore, if this game turns into a shootout here for whatever reason, then a lot of players that I'm about to mention are worth starting. Of course, you're going to start Jamar Chase of the world. Us Jamar's must stick together. He is wide receiver 1 on the year. He's going to be wide receiver 1 at the end of the year. That's just what it is. In the contract year, they should have. I mean, in hindsight, they probably should have paid the man already, but he's about to really break the bank over there in Cincinnati. Of course, you're starting Chase Brown. That man is pretty much a league winner based on his production here. Of course, Joe Burrow. Those 3. And then, T. Higgins, if you have to flex him, by all means. So on the Titan side, Pollard, you're definitely starting Pollard today. Running back 17 on the year, you're going to start Pollard. Westbrook and Keeney. All he does is score touchdowns. And that's fine. So I would say this. In 12-team leagues or deeper, he is a viable flex option by all means. Calvin Ridley, if Will Levis can throw the ball, he is a viable flex option as well this week. That's just what it is. All right. Chiefs, Browns. So hold on, because I had a hot take on this one yesterday. Chiefs are favored by 4.5 points. For anybody that bets, people know Chiefs don't ever cover the spread. They don't. Chiefs have had a plethora of close games this year. My hot take was I had the Browns winning this game. And that's because they're going against probably the most fearless quarterback who has nothing to lose in the whole NFL. And Jameis Winston. And really quick, Deshaun says the volume Chase Brown has been getting is absurd and shouldn't go. Absolutely. That is a must start running back. That is an RB1 each and every week. Deshaun, he feels like what, the 2024 version of I'll take that back. Probably the 2021 version of Austin Eckler. That's what it feels like. Just based on how he's utilized in the offense. He feels like this age is Austin Eckler. Even though Austin Eckler's still playing, that's what it feels like. But yeah, the reason why I said the Browns will pull off the upset here because Jameis has nothing to lose. Yeah, he'll throw a pick six. He'll turn right back around and throw this 70-yard touchdown to Jerry Jeudy, who was just another guy. He was before this season. He was just another guy that Steve Smith, deemed him. But here's the thing: I feel like the Browns can be very productive today. So with all that being said, I mean, Jerry Jeudy, I wouldn't mind as a flex. As a flex option here. Now, I would be very hesitant to, play Nick Chubb or Jerome Ford here. I think Njoku is going to play, and if so, I would play him too. And then, of course, on the Chiefs side, I mean, if you have to start Mahomes, okay. We know Mahomes has not been great for a fantasy perspective all year. So the one thing I would want to see here, and you kind of wish he would have came back a little sooner than this to evaluate him a little bit better, is Isaiah Pacheco. Like the usage, like does he have the juice again? Like things of that nature, because that is a violent running back. The way he twitches out there, it kind of reminds me shades of Marshawn Lynch at times. But it's like if you have to start him, fine. It's one of those. I do have a little hesitation on Isaiah Pacheco. Then of course Travis Kelce's a must start. DeAndre Hopkins has been good since he's been there, so I understand that. So, all right, Dolphins Texans. Now this has the potential to score a lot of points. Miami has been better as of late. Miami needs every win they can possibly get because they still are in wild card hunt here, but they need to pretty much win out. And going against Houston, which, a lot of people have more expectations for them, and they probably haven't really met the expectations that people have put on them at the beginning of the year. But two things you can point to that is, one, the injuries, the plethora of injuries that this team has occurred throughout the whole year between Nico Collins, who was missing for a long time. I mean, Joe Mixon missed a couple of games. Stephon Diggs is out for the season now. Definitely had a lot of things happening on that offense with their premier weapons. And then the other thing is CJ Stroud has not been the CJ Stroud that we saw from last year. And we could point to a couple of things as well. One, maybe the other teams has, really watched the film on the guy and, made adjustments. So maybe he's going through that quote unquote sophomore slump, if you want to call it that. The other thing is, I don't believe that offensive line has been great at all this year either. So I say all that to say this: this has to make the potential. The potential is there for a shootout. And, in fantasy, we want shootouts. But in my opinion, it comes back to if the offensive line can, hold steady and keep CJ Stroud upright. So if that can be the case, then you're pretty much starting almost anybody across the board on the Texans side outside of Tank Dell. That's a whole nother story. I don't even want to get into that one. So that means Collins is worth starting, Mixon's worth starting, CJ Stroud. I mean, depending on who you got else at quarterback, I know he hasn't been great at all this year, but I mean, if you have to, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Schultz to a certain degree, I wouldn't mind that either. Tank Dell, I'm leaving him at home. For the Miami side, I mean, Tua's ceiling is amazing this week. Of course, H-N. Tyreek Hill has been better in the last couple of games. And with Tyreek Hill, also Jalen Waddle. Welcome back to the league, sir. I'm glad you are an active participant out here, because there was at one point in time I was ready to cut bait. I was ready to just cut him off. Like, you're done. You can get on Deshaun's bus. I was ready. And the 2 leagues that I have Jalen Waddle in just so happen to be 2 out the 4 leagues I'm in the playoffs in. So I'm glad that he started to be like the Jalen Waddle that we know that he can be. And today is better timing than ever for him to continue that streak, because I need it. All right. Colts, Broncos. Bo knows. Bo Nix. Quarterback 8 on the year, going against a Colts defense that is atrocious. Needless to say, that's a must start. Cortland Sutton, ever since the goose egg, I would bet money he's been a top 10 wide receiver this year since that point. Vale has been a very interesting play as well. I think that is a flex option in deeper leagues. Running backs, I'm not really, I wouldn't really play unless you really, really have to, type deal. On the Colts side of the fence, I would play Jonathan Taylor if you really, really have to. I do not love his matchup today on the road in Mile High Stadium. I don't love it. Not saying that he can't get it, because he's a very talented running back. I mean, he was RB1 a couple of years ago. We've seen it before. We know what he can do. Not saying he can't get it. It's just the path to that is a lot harder today. Pass catches across the board, just take with a grain of salt if you have to start the likes of Josh Downs or Michael Pittman or Alex Pierce or anybody like that. And, of course, I'm not starting Anthony Richardson if you really have to. So, Patriots Cardinals, kind of touched on this earlier. I mean, if this is the game, this is the matchup for Kyler Murray to do Kyler Murray-like things. I mentioned earlier, this is the game. Like, I expect Kyler Murray to throw for at least 250, maybe 50 yards on the ground, at least 2 total touchdowns, 1 pass and 1 rushing, and turnover free. This is the type of matchup he should be able to do this on at home against New England. New England's not a good team. He's not. All right. We're going to pivot over to Reckon what's good. All right. Start Raiders, Chargers, or Lions defense today. All right. So we're not starting the Raiders defense. We can cancel that, especially with the news of Max Crosby. Get him out of there. All right. Lions play the Bills. I'd rather not. I'm pretty sure I'm going to say the Chargers defense by default here today. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm by default, I'm going to start the Chargers defense at home against the Buccaneers. And I know the Buccaneers can definitely have the potential to put up points, but just based on matchups here, I'd rather, I would have to play the Chargers by default. And then he said also Pickens out. So do I start Tracy Jr., Coleman, Kraft, Leggett, or Sterling Shepard? All right, I do not like Tracy Jr. matchup against the Ravens at all. Keon Coleman Coleman has, potential in that potential shootout of a game. I mean, the ceiling is a little higher than most The floor is very low though. Tucker Craft. I mean, I'd rather not start that particular tight end in the flex if I don't have to. Leggett. I would not mind him today. It would be better if Thielen wasn't there. It'd definitely be a little bit better there. All right, so if I have to pick here, let me a second. Let me look at one other thing here. Shepherd. It's crazy because I might have to man. So, all right, here's where I'm at. I don't particularly love Shepard's matchup at all. He can still get points, but I don't love it. Kraft, I would not. Get like once again, if Thielen wasn't there, I would say him without a doubt. Take that with a grain of salt. I mean, I think a lot of us would feel a lot better had he caught that touchdown last week to beat the Eagles. We probably have more confidence in him. So I mean, he's definitely worth a play here. Coleman, I think it's just a lot of mouths to feed in Buffalo, and it's hard to really pick who's the guy that particular week. Tracy, so I almost circled back and said Tracy. So honestly, this is where I'm at. I would say either Tracy Leggett. And the only reason why I even come back to Tracy, once again, that matchup is not the greatest. But if he can get the targets in the passing game, like he did last week, that would definitely offset some things there. And so, like last week, he had 21 total touches, 5 catches, 10 of them, 10 targets. So, I mean, if he can make up some work there. So, that's where I'm at. Tracy may be the safer play out the bunch by default. Leggett definitely has, I think, the most solid, like safe / floor and ceiling at the same time. If that makes sense. I think Leggett's probably the most optimal player in this bunch, but that's tough. That's tough. And yeah, like you said, got 10 targets last week, getting blown up. So I was kind of, yes. So that's where I'm at. So I think between Leggett and Tracy there, whichever one is your gut feeling, man, because that's tough. And then Deshaun said Leggett. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So definitely good luck to you on that one. That one is tough. And then let us know how you did next week. I hope that you survive in advance and we can keep it moving here. One here from Firefighter. What's going on? Breece Hall or Zach Charbonnet? Whew. 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 Man, do you have to choose between the two? So, like, logic says Breece Hall should destroy Jacksonville. He should annihilate a team that pretty much has nothing going for him. He should cook them. It should be sauteed. It should be stir fried. It should be boiled. It should be deep fried. And it should be a 3-course meal, including with a Caesar salad on it. Like that's where we should be at. But Deshaun, the Charbonnet, the usage. Yeah, that's man. And I'm gonna lean and I'm gonna go Charbonnet. Because it comes down to this. Yeah, the usage and of course the formula, the equation. that we used to say, Deshaun, opportunity plus talent, both of it is right there. But also, like, I trust Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense to move the ball more fluently and consistently than I do the Jets at this point. And that right there would create more opportunity and more usage for Charbonnet. So that's where I'm at. So, I mean, both should, in theory, should have great games. But if you got to make me pick, I'm with my co-host here. I'm going Charbonnet. So, Firefighter, good luck to you. Let us know how you do. Definitely let us know how you do. And then for people that haven't joined already, here's the link to the Discord. So you can ask more questions once I'm out of here. You can keep us updated. And also, I think I'm gonna officially post for the merch, for the hoodie giveaway. These hoodies here. Matter of fact, I was freezing my behind off in downtown Chicago yesterday wearing this hoodie, but it's still comfy. I'm still got to layer up though, because it is downtown Chicago in the wintertime. But anyway. All right. So I can say, yeah, I'll come back next week. I got Josh Allen, Saquon, Chase Brown, Tyreek Hill, Zay Flowers, sheesh, Laporta, Pickens. Pickens been ruled out. So just tough on my team. I'm praying Tracy or Keon balls. No, I get it. I get it. Sean said, I guess, posted Charbonnet, 22 rushes plus 7 catches is tough. Whenever Skywalker misses time, Charbonnet is a workhorse. Good problem to have, though. Absolutely on that one. I mean, that is the perfect definition of a handcuff right there. Somebody that can come in and just continue to move the ball and do what they got to do, continue the production when somebody misses. That is the perfect handcuff for any player. So there you have it. Evan, good morning. Full PPR. Pick 2, Mike Evans, Chuba, JSN. Hate to have to bench any of these guys. Yeah, me too. Sheesh. Whew. So I know Evans' matchup isn't the prettiest, but he can still put up numbers on the road at Los Angeles Chargers there. You know, Chuba's matchup at home against the Cowboys. Yes. It's kind of hard to screw that one up. JSN in that matchup at home against the Packers. Boy, and I feel like every time the Packers and Seahawks play, it's good. It's a good matchup. Oh, Evans and JSN. Let me see something. That's crazy. Yeah, you definitely got to start JSN. I mean, the man is wide receiver 6 on the year. I mean, the production cannot be ignored. He's probably going to go over 1,000 yards on the season in this game. I mean, JSN has arrived. Lockett is in the rear view. JSN first 1K season now loading. Exactly. See, if Ian was here, I would have asked him what university JSN went to. He would have said the Ohio State University. We would have gave JSN all his flowers here. But nevertheless, we put him in the lineup today. Now, me and you might differ on this one, Deshaun. I'm gonna have to go Hubbard. Against Dallas. I'm gonna have to. Not saying Mike Evans can't get his. I think it's just the easier path for Hubbard to get his. Like, I'm mad that we told people to sat Hubbard last week against Philly because he just, torched them. And then also with Jonathan Brooks, my dynasty pick, done for the year and maybe beyond. Yeah, I'm gonna go Hubbard and JSN. But yeah, Evan, like you said, hate to have to bench any of these guys. I feel you on that. I'm going Hubbard and JSN. My partner here is going Mike Evans and JSN. So good luck to you on that one. Good luck, man. All right. So as we move through this slate here real quick and keep it moving. All right. Dolphins, Texans, kind of touched on this pretty much already. Yeah, I did already. Broncos, Colts. Yeah, we did that. Cardinals. Oh, yeah, I was on the Cardinals, Patriots. So, yeah, I pretty much mentioned that Kyler Murray should definitely has one of those games. James Conner. I mean, he's been solid this year. I don't see why he can't find pay dirt today. Marvin Harrison Jr. What to do with Marvin Harrison Jr.? Marvin Harrison Jr., we all know that he should be a lot more productive than what he is, and it's no fault of his own. It's the person that's throwing him the ball. He should be cooking every single team that he goes against. That's what should be happening. I mean, did we not forget the man had 4 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter against the Rams in week 2? It's just frustrating. But he should have a productive day against New England. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. in 2 of the 4 leagues I'm in the playoffs in. I'm probably going to have to start him by default, and I feel okay about it. I don't feel terrible about it, but I don't feel like excited about it either, but he should. The ceiling, well, as Michael Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof, and the ceiling, for this man should be beyond the roof today. New England are not really playing anybody. I wouldn't even have a New England player on my team if I can help it. I know Ramondre Stevenson at one point was solid, and a couple of sprinkles of Pop Douglas here and there. But, it's the playoffs. We're not doing any of that. All right. Probably the matchup everyone wants to see, the Bills and the Lions. Look, Josh Allen is probably the MVP of the league at this point. Josh Allen, can't really say what more it is there to say about Josh Allen. James Cook in this matchup, I feel like it can go one or two ways. I mean, he could, have about 105 total yards and a touchdown this game, or, he can have, 40 yards on the ground, maybe 2 catches and call it a day. I don't know in this particular matchup here. The pass catchers is like throw a dart and hopefully, one of them sticks. So, I mean, Shakir, Coleman, Amari Cooper, somebody got to catch the ball, right? And of course, Dalton Kincaid's questionable, so who knows? But nevertheless, you would expect the Buffalo Bills to be very productive on offense today. You would expect that. The Lions, look, we kind of talked about it earlier. Like Jared Goff, it's more so, do he need to put up the yards and the points that he's responsible for? Because once again, we've seen the Lions drop 50 points a few times this year, and a couple of times he was non-existent because they didn't need him. They had Montgomery scoring a couple of touchdowns. They had Jahmyr Gibbs score a couple of touchdowns. And then you start sprinkling in, St. Brown, Patrick, Jamo, Laporta is starting to have a pulse here lately. So, needless to say, you can start any player that I just pretty much mentioned today. But the pass catchers outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, you just got to take with a grain of salt. Like, ceilings are high, floors are a little lower, but nevertheless, this has a potential to be a fascinating, high-scoring affair. I mean, I believe Vegas believes that as well because the over-under is 54.5, which is insane. So, there you go. All right, Chargers, Bucks, got a few more left, and I'll be done with this. Look, Justin Herbert has definitely been better from a fantasy perspective than he was the first month of the season. Will Disley's out, so that should mean more targets for Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer. If Ladd McConkey plays today, then that helps out as well. Running game, I mean, Gus Edwards is definitely not J.K. Dobbins. I mean, we just keep it like that. Buccaneer side, look, if Bucky Irvin plays and he's healthy, then that's the guy you starting. We mentioned it earlier. The Bakers man has been really good this whole year, and if you have to start him in this matchup, fine. But just based on game flow and what Jim Harbaugh likes to do, I mean, just take it with a grain of salt because that is a ground and pound team. Pause, but nevertheless, I mean, they pretty much dictate the flow of the game, and that's a very physical team. Mike Evans can still get his. He might have to work a little bit harder for it, but he can still get his. I know K. Ogden's production has been reduced since Mike Evans has been there. Sterling Shepard has increased a little bit there, but nevertheless, just take everything with a grain of salt. But once again, the Bucky Irvin plays, that's the guy. All right, Steelers, Eagles. I'm not doing any more hashtags, LaShawn. I mean, you done enough. I've said enough on that one. So, but look, I'm actually excited to see this matchup here. I do have the Steelers winning this game. But it should be a very fun game. I have Saquon Barkley in one of the leagues I'm in the playoffs in. I mean, Saquon is a very special player. He's my favorite running back in the league since he came out. Saquon should do Saquon things. I expect Jalen Hurts to do Jalen Hurts things. AJ Brown, they had a discussion this past week about the passing game being lackluster. And once again, when them diva wide receivers or diva pass catchers in general, just any pass catcher in general that complains or have a goose egg or anything like that, and usually the next game they get a lot of looks. So, I mean, I would expect AJ Brown to get a lot of looks. Devontae Smith should be very productive without Goddard. You can pass some Steelers on the other side of the ball. Hey, man, still got it, Russ. Let Russ cook, Mr. Unlimited, whatever you want to call him. Sierra's husband. I mean, whatever. He's been playing phenomenal. That's just what it is. Najee Harris in this one, maybe. I do like Freiermuth a lot. There's no George Pickens at all. Muth should eat. Steelers should move the ball. I mean, yes, the Eagles defense has played better, but I mean, nevertheless, they was a Leggett drop touchdown away from losing the game last week. So yeah, you should be confident in and playing your players here, man. So and I'm sure Deshaun will add something in the comments about his Steelers matchup today. So yeah, that's where we're at on that one. Packers, Seahawks. I mean, like I said before, like anytime these two teams play against each other, it's usually a good matchup. So JSN must start. Charbonnet, in my opinion, must start. Of course, DK. I mean, and then Gino, like those four, you feel confident and good about starting. Jordan Love, if you have to play him, I get it. I mean, because he's a sensational talent. He's just been turning the ball over this year. I think he got 11 turnovers this year to 21 pass interceptions. It just hasn't been the same. But once again, you got to remember he's been playing hurt the whole year. I mean, we watched his knee per se get messed up in Brazil week 1. Came back earlier than people expected, and he kind of hurt it again. So he's been playing hurt. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. Josh Jacobs has been playing fine. I feel like you definitely got to start him. And then now the pass catches here, like we witnessed a goose egg on Thursday with Cooper Kupp. That's why he's a thumbnail with that smirk. But we also saw a goose egg from Deshaun's cousin, Jaden Reed, and I mean, maybe he comes out and balls out, but look, all I know is Jaden Reed is not Cooper Kupp and not viewed the same. So therefore, in the two leagues I'm in the playoffs in, I just happen to have Jaden Reed. somehow survived last week without Jaden, with Jaden Reed's goose egg. This week, I'm not playing that game. In both leagues, I have Jalen Waddle, and guess what I'm doing? I'm starting Jalen Waddle over Jaden Reed this week. I'm not playing that game. Now when it's the playoffs, we're not doing that today, bub. No sirree. So yeah, play the Packers wide receivers at your own risk. All right, so we are blessed to have 2 Monday night games. All right, here's before we get into that, this is what Deshaun said about Steelers. It'll be a good game, man, but we can't score with Philly without GP. Defense, special teams has to be a strength today to pull off a victory. Kim Hayward, Highsmith, Watt all have to be on their A game. I think they can be. Andy, hey, all right. Which quarterback would you go with in a 6-point for passing TD league? Mahomes, Herbert, or Knicks? Let's see. See, Chiefs on the road at the dog pound. And Mahomes have not been the greatest this year. Herbert at home against the Bucks. Yeah, you can pass on them, but do they really, based on their playing style? Like my initial reaction, and probably gonna be my last reaction is Bo knows. I really want to say Bo Nix. I do. I mean, against Indianapolis at home, Indianapolis defense is atrocious. Broncos need this game. They really do, to just keep pace here. Just their playing style, they're more of I would say they're more likely to have more opportunity for passing touchdowns than the Chargers, is based on their playing style. Bo Nix has been a better fantasy quarterback than Patrick Mahomes this year, and Justin Herbert, he's been more consistent. I have to. If I die on this hill, I'm gonna die on this hill. But I mean, the man has been great this year. I'm not about to do anything different. Saying you get 6 for passing touchdowns in that league. I mean, and obviously Mahomes and probably Herbert are more better passers of the football than Bo Nix is. And, at their stages of the career, but it just more opportunity for Bo Nix to do what he does. That's where I'm at. So I get it. I'm going Bo. Like, anybody else have any opinions on that, let me know, but I'm going Bo. And I guess back to the Steelers here, sprinkling a little bit of Queen and Minka for good measure. Yeah, I think I have your team winning. I do. I really do. So, all right. Then we got one here from Cisco. Your 10-man PPR. Who for wide receiver and quarterbacks? CD, Mike Evans, Scary Terry, DJ Moore, BTJ, and QBs are Bo Nix, Kyler Murray. All right. I guess how many wide receivers am I picking here? 2, 1, 2, or 3? Let me know on that one. And as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, so look, I love Murray's matchup today. I talked about him a lot. Bo knows. Bo Nix, I mean, he has a tremendous matchup as well. Look, I'm all right. 2 hours. All right, so I would man, this is almost like a coin flip. I'm gonna go with my guy Bo. Bo got me here in a couple of leagues. Kyler Murray should have a great game. once again, the stat line that he should have in this game: 250 in the air, maybe 50 on the ground, 2 total touchdowns with 1 in the air, 1 on the ground, and no turnovers. That should be what he should be able to do against New England at home. That's what he should be able to do. I really hope he does that. We don't need any dud games from Kyler Murray at home against the Patriots. I'm personally going with Bo Nix. Either one of those should be fine. All right, 2 wide receivers in the flex. All right, so I'm still starting CeeDee Lamb with all that crazy stuff going on in Dallas there. Mike Evans, even though they're on the road at the Chargers, and that's a tougher matchup, but I still think Mike Evans get his because it is Mike Evans. And then yeah, probably I'm gonna have to go with the first 3. I'm gonna have to go with the first 3. I mean, DJ Moore is my guy. You see the sign back there. But I'm gonna have to go with the first 3. First 3 and Knicks for me, and I'm gonna call it a day. So Cisco, good luck to you, man. Hey, come back next week. Let us know how you do. Hopefully the news is you survive in advance so we can keep it moving here. Because this is the playoffs. This is the playoffs. All right. 808. I have Devontae Smith, Drake London, Jordan Addison, Darnell Mooney, Jamo, Calvin Ridley, pick 2 in a flex. Now, if Drake London cannot go crazy today, if he cannot destroy the Raiders, who I believe is tanking for Shador, or trying to at least, with no Max Crosby for a pass rush, and just double down, my co-host double down on that one. But if Drake London can't and I guess to a certain degree, Kirk Cousins, if they cannot do that, then they need to just go to Cancun early and just call it a day. Don't even fight for division no more. So with that being said, I have to take Drake London for that one. So that's 1. Jordan Addison. So the last time he played the Bears, I mean, he went bonkers. They didn't really do much. I mean, Justin Jefferson didn't really. They was focusing more so on him, and Jordan Addison just did his thing. I mean, 9 targets, 8 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown. And so, and pretty much, I'm gonna just go with what Deshaun said because that's where I was leaning at, which is Devontae Smith, Drake London, Jordan Addison. 808, that's where we're at. Dude, 808 is the OG. 808 been rocking with us since I think year 1. 808 is like you the real MVP. 808. We appreciate you, man. So good luck to you. I definitely hope you win. Thank you, Cisco, for stopping by. All right. Andy Sue says 1 more question in a non-PPR. All right. Need 1. Tracy, Warren, Irvin, Neighbors, Harrison Jr., or Jamo starting Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Hubbard, and McCormick. Let's see. All right, so process of elimination here. All right, more likely to score. So I'm gonna rule out Harrison Jr. just because it's so volatile, even though he's the most talented player on this list by far, and it makes me upset. Jamo. So I really wouldn't. High ceiling, floor is just very low. Neighbors. Man, this was PPR be a no-brainer, but neighbors get a lot of action though. Irving is a good matchup. Irving plays healthy. I'm leaning Irving here. So I would probably rank it Irving, coin flip between neighbors, Tracy, Warren, and then the rest. So I'm gonna go Irving. That's tough though. That's tough. So Andy, good luck to you. Let us know how you do next week. I do appreciate you stopping by every week. So this is Deshaun's order. If you have to pick, Irvin will be first, John will be second, neighbors third. So we both like Irvin for the pick on that one. So good luck to you. Definitely good luck to you. All right. So, all right, 2 more games left on the slate. And we're blessed to have 2 Monday night games. My Bears on the road, Twin Cities, to play the Vikings. So, from the Vikings standpoint, kind of just mentioned it within the last 3 minutes or so. Jordan Addison. And Deshaun, I can definitely do without this comment. He said Addison's on fire and he smoked the Bears like a pack of Coolers previously. Like, look, we don't need that negativity over here. But in the reality of it, I mean, he did have 8 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown against the Bears because they were so focused on Justin Jefferson that game. But of course, you're starting Justin Jefferson anyway. Aaron Jones is a good play. I mean, we suck against the run. Sam Darnold's a good play. I mean, Hawkins a good. Basically, all the known players for the Vikings, you do play them. I say it in a depressing manner because that's my team. That's my Bears. All right, from a fantasy perspective, from the Bears side though, I think DJ Moore is worth a mention here. Like, if you have to play DJ Moore, I wouldn't feel upset about it. I mean, I wouldn't expect 20 plus points either. He could get there, but I wouldn't expect it. I could expect a solid 15 though. Because here's the thing, and you've heard me say this over the past several weeks now. The Vikings, from a fantasy perspective, they are great against the run, but they are just as terrible against the pass. Like, you can pass on the Vikings. You can. Caleb Williams could have a good game, but I know for a fact that you have better options in leagues instead of Caleb Williams today, especially with no teams on the bye. So, but I do expect Caleb Williams to have a good game when it's all said and done. Swift, I wouldn't if I didn't have to. DJ Moore, I mean, Keenan Allen, once again, that's it could be a solid flex play. Roma Dunze, that's a deeply flex play. Cole Kmet, I wouldn't until we've seen some more consistency there. Bears offense, the passing game has a chance to be solid today. It's just more so, do the players want to go out there and play? Because they quit last week against the Niners in the first quarter. So we'll see. All right. And then the last game on the slate, Falcons, Raiders. Look, no Max Crosby. He's undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery. That's done. We understand. Kirk Cousins, like, look. I used to call you Mr. Empty Calories for years because you used to put up a lot of numbers and they'd be meaningless because a lot of times you wouldn't win in games. And then I had a coworker that once told me Kirk Cousins is good enough to lose you a game. And I laughed so hard, but it was so true. Because when it all mattered most, he just didn't get it done. Then, the last couple of years, he's been Kirk O'Change. He's been out here balling. He's been putting up numbers. But for the last few weeks, I don't know what's going on. Is it father time? Is it old age? Is that Achilles aching? Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's too much urban music because you had the whole crowd swag surfing, against the Bucks when you put up over 500 yards that Thursday night. I ain't forget that. That was probably the most exciting game I've seen all year. But if you cannot put up numbers against this Raiders team who is obviously tanking and quitting and trying to probably get Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward or one of those quarterbacks, Brock Ewers, whoever, you cannot put up the numbers today. I don't know what to tell you, but Kirk Cousins should be worthy of a start, but I'm pretty sure you have better options. But if you had to start him, he should. Keyword is should. He should put up numbers. Bijan Robinson is probably the best ranked running back this week. So Bijan should definitely do Bijan things. Drake London, Darnell Mooney, they should be sensational. I mean, Kyle Pitts is no more than a poster on the wall at this point. Probably a fathead. He's probably more useful as a fathead than actually in your fantasy lineup this week. So, all right. So that is the slate. That's the slate, y'all. Look, it's the playoffs. I'm pretty sure there's a level of anxiety here for people that's playing in the first week of the playoffs. There's people who have earned first round buys. My partner Deshaun, I believe he has 3 first round buys out of 4 leagues here. I mean, Deshaun is great at what he does, and one of the things that he does really well is fantasy football. So he has 3 first round buys. So he's pretty much cooling here. The rest of us out here that's out here doing things, we gotta we gotta work for it. That's okay. Because it's any given Sunday, it don't matter if you're the number 1 seed or the 8th seed getting in. It don't matter. You got a chance each and every week. And yes, man, he is worth more as a fathead on the wall than in your fantasy lineup this week. Best believe when we have the final episode, he is on your bus. Matter of fact, reserve a seat for that man. Reserve a seat. He's going on the bus, dog. He's going on the bus. Hey, he is way too talented to be acting this way. Do you know what's wild is, and I heard a stat, I think either the last game or in general, like he's not on the field as often. If he's on the field, because either it's something with the run blocking or something like that, where it's pretty much predictable when he's going to be on the field. They're doing it's one or the other. I forgot, but it's insane. Like Kyle Pitts should be a lot better than what's happening right now. But nevertheless, it's the playoffs. So don't overthink it. I would say just my general advice here is play the players that got you here. Don't overthink it. Overthinking is a dangerous thing. Not just fantasy, but in real life in general, just overthinking in general. So don't overthink it. Play the people that got you here. All else fails, use your gut instinct. If you have any more questions, join the Discord. I'll post the link one more time in the comments here. Because in the Discord, we are active pretty much all the time. If you definitely have any questions before the early games, please don't hesitate. We'll be back next week. I don't think I'll be solo next week, but nevertheless, we gonna do our best to help you all get to that crown and that trophy and that banner. And if you're playing for money, hopefully you can cash out too. All right. So with all that being said, I'm Jamar. I do appreciate Deshaun for hanging out in the comments here. He's hard at work, but he took the time out for this hour and a half to join me this morning. So I appreciate that. For Ian, who is a traveling fan of many different teams in NFL, I'm playing, bro. And for Walt, who's been out here getting money late at night, man. So, all right, deuces. We'll see y'all next week. Peace, much blessings, and good luck, and bear down.